Hi everybody, I'm Shane.
I'm Josh.
I'm Ritzgar.
But Miller had
And I'm Chris.
Without his help, I wasn't certain I could get out.
And this is what should be the final week of Metro 2033, or final 2 weeks, depending on how we end up cutting the footage.
And yeah, so we're gonna wrap this game up. Hopefully.
And I think it's been a pretty good game so far.
Yeah, I don't think we've said quite enough good about it, honestly. I think we get very hung up on what's wrong with it. We always do that, though. We get hung up on what's wrong with the game, and we don't concentrate on what we like.
You know, I didn't really get into this world. Like, the game didn't resonate with me until I played Last Light. But once that happened, I couldn't help comparing the game unfavorably to Last Light, because Last Light is better in just about every way. So,
Last Light is a really interesting case of a sequel that fits so well with the first game that it feels like the first game is just like the first half of an actual game.
Okay.
Yeah, the second game is really dealing with all the problems caused at the end of the first game. And we have the documents. Yes, we have the documents. That was so worth it. Thank you for sending us into the hellhole for the documents.
Oh, Khan helped them find us, because I guess they didn't know where we would be. Okay, sure. Whatever.
I will say it was a very nice moment when we crawled out there. Just sort of like the frozen snow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I say put it on, and you say put it on. Sorry, Mystery Science Theater reference. I couldn't help but make after that.
It is interesting. When taking the two games together, it becomes clear that Metro 2033's motif is mostly winter. Like, it's a winter, it's cold, everyone is hiding and just trying to hunker down and get through it. And in Last Light, spring starts to come out and the ice starts to melt.
Actually, I will say that the early part of this game in particular really has almost a warm feel to me, just because all the light is kind of orange tinted. What it feels like is hell, and I don't think that's entirely unintentional.
Oh yeah. So we are now at the basically the end of the game. We can get whatever we want, including
they just give
12.
Yeah, it just gives you everything after. And you know what? The odd thing is, this frustrated me. It's like, you know, I've been pinching pennies the whole game, saving up, and then at the end it's like, oh, everything's free. I'm like, oh, so this isn't a reward for me being frugal and wise. This is like, whether you earned it or not, here's everything. That's not invalid. In fact, that's pretty classic, old school thinking for weapons distribution, but it's just, for some reason, it disappointed me.
I do kind of like it in the element that, like, it really would make sense to give you a whole bunch of stuff at this point.
Absolutely. It would be very strange if they were selling you weapons when you're going to go save the world. So it makes more sense.
Russian Orthodox Church.
Yeah, it's nice.
Oh, this is, and this little thing that Khan is looking at is magnificent.
It's a nice base the Rangers got themselves.
Video games need more shit like this.
I heard
Seriously,
no help from
like, this is so much easier to make in a video game than it is to make in real life. Why don't we see more?
Turning into a ranger. Take a close
Stuff is
look at the road
magnificent.
you follow, Artyom, and be aware of how it might end.
And it also...
Keeping silent, we're turning into a ranger. You've never heard me talk before, Khan. I never spoke to you back when I wasn't a ranger.
Death only brings death. To break this vicious circle, one must do more than just act without any thought or doubt. Well, Artyom, I've been chatting here for far too long.
This guy is really buzzing.
It's time to go.
Like, is really buzzing with heresy against the Church of Hunter. I'm not sure I could sit and listen to this shit. Josh. Acting without thought or doubt is the only way you solve problems, Hunter style.
Do we have everything we need? Man,
Hey
we do not
Hunter,
have a lot
there's some
of
guys outside selling cookies, but I don't have any money left.
assault
Okay, I'll
rifle
take care of
ammunition. I didn't happen to miss any, did I?
I will bring you
There's an
the
extremely
badges
low amount.
as a trophy.
That could cause problems. Okay, we'll see what happens here.
Okay. There's
It
not
is-
much useful in here. Just hints at most.
It was kind of a misstep for them to make Khan and Miller look almost exactly the same, I think.
Yes.
That's Miller?
They do a lot. That's Miller.
So, how are we
The other guy
Who's
back there was
Khan?
Khan.
Is everything
No.
Khan has the pointy beard. Khan has the rounded beard.
Vladimir?
So Khan is like the evil alternate universe version of this
You
guy.
guys?
I guess so. And I think they both have.
In Last Light, Miller looks completely different.
The design for Khan is much more in keeping with his character in Last Light. He makes so much more sense. He kind of has a hippie vibe to him. He's wearing like a bandana.
Yeah, he's got
on
a
his head.
do-rag.
Yeah, so much better.
Time to warm up at the stove.
Like the design for his character in Last Light
Dark tunnel.
tells you more
Will
about
rattle,
his character.
and the
Where
smell
here,
of death.
everybody,
That's
whether
how
they're
our journey to
rangers or
26
not,
began.
whether they're
But our goal seemed close.
whether
now.
they're just town guards or not, it's like every guy looks like a military guy of some sort, which makes sense, but you don't get a feel for who anyone's character is. And you don't get a sense of the huge difference between Miller and Khan, even though they have radically different worldviews. They kind of look the same and dress the same. And, you know, it's always good if your character designs can, you know, are visual as well as character-based.
So, this introduces the third possible origin of the Dark Ones,
Vladimir lost all his family.
which is that
He doesn't remember
not
anything
like
about them.
mutated creatures from the surface, and they're not necessarily angels or anything like that, but they were some sort of genetic experiment that had been done in this secret military base that was either released by the nuclear war or
I'm fine
they
never
seem to
knowing
be
that.
pretty happy with me.
Artyom!
Or they were further mutated by the nuclear war.
They're clearly aliens.
Artyom! Artyom!
I believe that is the last morality point in the entire game.
I was going to ask, at what point do we start seeing the that stuff pay off?
It'll
Wake up,
come
Artyom, wake up!
soon-ish. It's kind of all loaded into the end of the game. The big misstep the game makes is it makes it really obvious that the Dark Ones are not actually evil, which was not the case in the book.
Who was that?
Like they
Not the case that it was obvious, or
very
not the case they were
blatantly. Well, it was not the case that it was very obvious that they were not evil in the book until the very end.
They were more ambiguous, and they were more.
Yeah.
Great. Stop.
They didn't show up and tell Artyom, "Hey, yo, we just want to help you, so if you could, like, not kill everyone, that'd be cool."
That'd be great, thanks, bro.
Boris, take
And I think that's just, they were a little bit worried that a video game audience would kind of be frustrated at getting to the end and all of a sudden, oh, you're the bad guy, or that they would be confused.
Get your tools ready.
I have a question. That thing just talked back there. It didn't talk with an accent, did
Need
it?
surprises here.
Or like,
That's
Just talk
true.
like
The
this,
dark
right?
ones, the dark ones have an American accent.
Watch your back.
yeah, and it's like, and on the one hand you're like, oh, well, why would they speak in a Russian accent? Why Why the fuck would they speak in an American accent? That's so weird.
Dmitry Glukhovsky, the writer of the Metro books and one of the writers on this game, was pretty miffed that they decided to make all the characters in the English translation speak in a blatantly Russian accent.
Something's closing in.
Right. Well, I'm not suggesting they should have made.
He suggested the same thing that you did. Was like, why bother giving them Russian accents if they're already translated into English?
Clearly, they should all have British accents.
Like, the dude himself is fluent in English and Russian and I think like French or something. So it wasn't like a situation where he didn't know what he was talking about. But the studio apparently insisted on making them do incredibly bad Russian accents.
So on this stream, this is basically looking like Castle Wolfenstein, like the Return to Castle Wolfenstein era graphics.
That is kind of funny. It does not like this flashing light and dark pattern.
Sorry, that's a really petty meta note. I'm sure the audience isn't terribly amused to know that.
This is an interesting section. I mean, it's okay. It's a turret section. It's a turret flamethrower section.
Flamethrowers are the best kinds of turrets.
Yeah, if you've got to be, if you got to do it.
When you get a flamethrower, all you really want is to stand around and light everything on fire and just hose the place down with it. So you might as well mount it, I guess.
It's closing in.
Are we ever going to get to a point in video games where flamethrowers aren't just particle effect hit detection and stuff?
Where the flame sticks to stuff and spreads? Can you
Yeah, like it
imagine
really
this
does.
tunnel? Yeah, can you imagine this tunnel, you setting all this crap on fire, and it would just be consuming the air and raising the temperature? That would be terrifying.
Chris, I really thought you were going to say something like, are we ever going to get to a point where video games explore the ethical ramifications of using flamethrowers and stop treating it like any other weapon? Which is also actually kind of a good point. But
shoot the ball of electricity with a flamethrower.
It wouldn't be a cool action
is that just
sequence.
a generator
if you didn't have to
POV
have the
shot there?
percussive maintenance there.
that was generator point of view. He looked like he was punching us in the head. That was so confusing. It's so confusing whenever it cuts away from Artyom's first-person perspective.
The Artyom is in all things.
The Artyom is inside of all of us, and
The least they could do would be zoom in on the back of our head.
Yeah. Really, that is just a major thing. Like, there are a couple of just really head-scratching decisions in this game, and that's probably the biggest one. Is that weird switching to some other POV for just short things. So it's not like it even like that section where it yanked you out for that POV. Did it need to do that? There's no reason. It wasn't like that was necessary to the scene
The
at
case
all.
of the tunnel was locked away behind the airlock gates.
We could clearly stand
They
behind that
seemed
guy and
invulnerable.
watch him punch that
And at that
generator,
moment,
and it would
so
not
did
have
my
diminished the
comrades.
scene at all.
Alright, we've broken through. Let's do this fast and smooth. Ullman, you're in charge of the assault team.
Oh, guys!
I like having
is Sparta.
my flashlight and my.
Okay, ребята, let's do it.
Actually, that was Sparta back there at the church.
It's pity it's broken.
Damn you! Clear.
Why did you yell "damn you"?
How about sitting
What was
down and
that?
having a smoke?
Nervous. It's no rest for the wicked, as you know. Forward, my soldiers. Great deeds await. Great deeds.
I don't get this dynamic. I don't get this team dynamic. Alright, you want to sit around smoking cigarettes? Nope, we've got important stuff to do. God damn it! Oh yeah? Well, you're not a very good commander. That seemed a little odd.
Anybody else want any of these bullets? Never mind. I'll just keep
Oldman,
them.
enough with the jokes,
You
please.
guys would just waste
When we're
them
back at the base, you'll
by
be
shooting
sweeping
at
tunnels
things
with a
with them.
toothbrush.
Creepy place.
As you say, my general.
Sweeping tunnels with a toothbrush. Yeah, I bet sweeping the tunnels is
Here's
a
the
really
first
important
challenge.
task down here.
Flip those breakers.
The first challenge is to flip breakers. Oh, dear.
I ain't gone. It's dark and scary there.
RTM,
This
you do everything.
incidentally is
MIT
a
education
tone
pays for
setting
itself,
segment
RTM.
for this part of the game here. Where are these damn breaker switches?
Watch your language, soldier.
That's the thing you never want to see. You would never want to hear an NPC say. All right, you see that junction box right there? Well, you better start getting used to the sight of that. Let me tell you.
Am I not able to? Oh, I guess that opened it. Okay. Hey guys, I'm still here. Don't worry.
Stay with Artyom. You both.
Did the guy
Oh
just
no,
say
the
hold
wisecracking
line?
Joker got murdered. How poignant! I'm
That
quoting
is
what I
Yuri
assume is going to happen in
Lowenthal.
5 minutes.
Who is also the guy who did the enemies everywhere, hold the line in Mass Effect 1. So yes. So the plan here is to not help in any meaningful way, because
It's just a
they all
waste of
have more
bullets.
ammunition than I do.
Mission
I'm really
accomplished.
wondering. I still have yet to come up with any context in which saying enemies anywhere is plausibly appropriate.
Enemies nowhere. 'Cause
Assuming
we
there
got
are
'em.
enemies
See?
everywhere, that should be self-evident, and bellowing that out with no further explication is just going to
Okay.
demoralize your forces.
Fight in such an
What about that scene in Aliens where no one could figure out where they're coming from, but like they were everywhere,
Oldman, I
according to the
wish
motion
They're
detector?
everywhere.
Split.
Coming out of the goddamn walls! No, honestly. It wasn't a particularly useful thing to say, actually. It was just... That's kind
I
of the
happen
point,
to
really.
knife you, comrades.
Gonna make it.
It's not my fault.
A glass of moonshine for each Nosauros. How about that?
The jungle predator roaring is just terrible. They really... It makes these things so much less scary.
Sounds like the roar of the Minotaur from the Hercules side-scrolling and like beat 'em up
all this space wasted. It's such a great place for growing
from back in the
shrubs, huh?
day.
It sounds kind of like the animal attack version of the Wilhelm scream.
It does.
Sounds like a zoo animal with a stomach ache.
It does not sound like a post-apocalyptic monkey monster.
You know, now that you say it out loud, that also almost makes it sound outlandish.
You know, you guys are all wearing gas masks.
Gonna blow through your
They have
filters.
like-
It's no good.
You
no
were
good.
in on a staff meeting that I missed about maybe like poisonous
When you show up
gases
to
down
work
here.
and everybody's wearing gas masks, you're like, should I wear a gas mask? And they're like, it's probably fine.
I'm sure you'll be just fine.
Of course, in reality, it's probably because they didn't want to animate putting gas masks on
Yeah.
and taking them off. And can any of
Because
these
they were
guys
all very
actually
sensitive about
die
the
outside of scripted
shape of their
events?
lips.
Can't die twice
They got weird
anyway.
lips. Oh, I just thought I'd wear my gas mask on the mission again. Oh yeah, that's fine. I also thought I'd just wear the gas mask. You know, it makes sense,
Can't-
right?
Can't die twice anyway, the guy said. That must be a Russian idiom that just does not translate well. I'm not really worried about dying 2 times. It's just the first time
So
that
that
I'm
was
concerned with
clearly
at the moment.
scripted.
Stepan.
Well, I mean, there's the very English idiom of you only live twice. So
I'll take your ammunition.
This whole team dynamic here with like the Joker and the guy who dies. This feels weirdly contrived in comparison to like the rest of. Like this feels
They
like,
needed
almost
their
like
Call of Duty Band of Brothers homage sequence, and they got
This is
it.
actually,
and we got
like-
the tragic
was one
death
loss after
of the
another.
one guy that we
And for
don't
everyone
remember at
who died
all and
helping
never
me
talked
save my
to.
home station.
and now
I
it's just
felt
like
anger
I
in
was
my heart.
sad when those guys died. I'm a joker. Would it be poignant when I die,
there's a pumping
fellows?
station ahead
Oh
of
god, I'm
the
dead.
patrol.
Oh no,
Fairness,
he's dead. Artyom, I
Ullman
was sad
was-
when he was dead.
Okay, go for
Ullman was one of the people that that you met, like back when we stole the Nazi truck.
Yeah.
Oh look,
War
there's a
is
gas
hell.
mask here. I
Why
wonder
can't
if
the
I'll
human
need
and
that.
the Nosalis just coexist in peace? Why must we settle all of our differences this way?